started playing well? How's your experience?
Well, I had a great experience at the University of Florida. Me and Willie were roommates my first year, my sophomore year, and like he said, it wasn't a lot of blacks at the University of Florida, and it was a lot of times we felt we had to prove ourselves physically and mentally. But we endured. You know, we realized the value of an education and it getting us in a place in society where we could be productive. So we were in a good place. You know, I went there basically because and I have to. I feel really remiss if I didn't mention my brother Vince Kendrick. He was he was really. I feel if he could be here, he could be a little more, inspirational to you guys. But he's passed on, and in his absence, I would have to say I really went to the University of Florida following him. I walked on the team. I didn't get a scholarship. And at that time, they were very particular about you being a scholar athlete, and my grades wasn't quite as good as my brother's on. And so he got a chance to come. And at that time, Ray Graves was the athletic director, but Doug Dickey was our coach because he coached at Tennessee and he had a lot of blacks and he managed them real well. So they brought him to the University of Florida to kind of keep the blacks. And I think he did a great job with some of the blacks that was kind of thick-headed like me. I was kind of hard, to kind of keep in the order. But my brother Vince was just the opposite. So in his absence, and I'm hoping he's looking down from heaven at all of us and looking and seeing the achievements that some of the people at the University of Florida has achieved. And Willie was a definite inspiration to me, him and Leonard George. I first met Leonard and Pete at Beatty Twin Tower, and they sitting in two chairs, butt naked, sleeping. Was my first impression of seeing the both of them at Beatty's Tower sleep. So they was good guys, And I have to say, it was some great, great, great athletes. I'm only on this line because Nat Moore had a prior engagement with Don Shula. But I'm not in the greatness as some of the guys I played with, like, Mike Stanfield and Alvin Butler and Wayne Fields and Terry LeCount and Gaffney brothers. And, my brother was the first black captain at the University of Florida. So it was some greatness that went on there. We had to endure a lot of discrimination, like Willie said, and we did. So I'm going to let some of these young brothers that they went on and followed in our footsteps pretty well. And I'm proud of watching the Gators, every one of you guys, even you, Shane, and Brantley. I seen y'all, I admired some of you guys, the participation that y'all followed through, even though we were some of the first blacks. I still see people as people, and I love people as people. So that's about what I got to say.
Hey, Mr. Press, now
Yes,
I know, come on. I know you save and love the Lord, but I'm going to pull out this BC days, right? Just to show you. So you being modest, you great too. Because for a joker, hey, Javon, what you think about this? He had 7 sacks in one game and didn't even start.
Oh, you shit. For real?
7 sacks in one game and did not start.
So he around here playing, man. Don't be
He
playing.
punch shaving on us. I know you say you love the Lord right now.
I got to clear that up. I got to clear that up.
Clear it up.
We went to Mississippi, and when we went down through the tunnel, they called us niggas and spit on us, and I didn't think I was gonna leave there. I said, so I'm gonna kill somebody on the field. So the starting quarterback, I dropped them 4 times, and the second string quarterback, I dropped them 3 times. And then when we got ready to leave, a good friend of mine named Fred Albert, they called him Catfish. He was white, and I think he mind me said he was a redneck, but I go down dark alley with him, and he saw a rebel flag up in the stands, and he wanted the rebel flag. And I went through the stand, and it opened like the Red Sea. And when I got up to the top, I said, "Can I have that flag?" And the guy, he was shaking. He said, "Yeah." So I took the flag and I gave it to Rebel. I gave it to Fred Albert. And Fred Albert, I played with some guys like Lee McGriff and Glenn Cameron and Ralph Ortega, Fred Albert. There was a lot of dissension between whites and blacks. But when we got on that field and we sweated and we hit each other and we played hard, I still got some relationships with these guys to this day. So it don't matter what color you is. When you get out there on that field, sometimes that takes away all of that, and then you
Right.
treat each other like brothers.
And you know what?
Okay.
And that's the brotherhood that you see. You know, you put aside your differences, and that's one thing that permeate through the whole Florida Gators. When I the Gators, when I look at the thing, man, just as far as the family, not only blood brothers, but brothers from another mother, like Big Johnny. I mean, you set the path for your family with the legacy. You chose to go to Florida, and then your brother followed you, and then his daughters, and he got married. His daughters,
those guys, and played with Terry LeCount and the Gaffneys and Wes Chandler, who I thought was probably the best athlete I ever played with. Chris Collinsworth ain't gonna like the statement, but we had some great times. But Scott Brantley was 1 year behind me. Got redshirted my second year, so we got to play the last 3 years out of the same class. So we had a great time. Chan Gailey, what I enjoyed at that time is that we had JV football. These young guys don't realize we had the baby Gators back then. And we played 4 games. We played Auburn, FSU, Miami, and have a good time doing that. So we got